Good morning. Good morning. It is Friday, March 22nd. We got a lot to talk about, a lot to dial into. I hope all of you are ready to get into your weekend. I like to announce that every time because it feels so damn good. When Friday rolls around, you're like, look, it's the weekend. I can enjoy, I can sit back, I can relax. But we got a lot to talk about today. We got a lot of sports. We got a fighter on the show. We got NFL. We got NBA. We got some cool breaking news with Jalen Hurts. A lot of things are going on, and Odell Beckham now is visiting Miami. He's here. He's in town, which is very interesting because people are like, maybe the Chiefs, maybe the Dolphins, who knows? But let's get right into the show right now because we have a lot to talk about. And right now on the show, we have Brandon Meyer. BKFC is going to join us today. Just went through another fight. I got a chance to see him fight. It was great. He's calling in. I'm excited to have him on the show. Brandon, welcome to the show. I'm excited to have you, man. Dude, you are a warrior, man. I'm so glad to have you on here. I saw you fighting.
Thank you. Thank you for having me, man.
Where are you based, brother? Where are you based right now?
I'm out of Omaha, Nebraska, man. Right in the middle of the
Nebraska.
Right in the middle of the map.
Are you out there? Look, I played against Nebraska in college football, and that was like, there was a lot of cornfields out there, man. But there was some great people. Like, I got an ankle injury, and they were like super supportive. I was like, wow, This is nice.
It's a crazy area, man. Not just for sports wise, but for fighters coming out of this area. We just got some tough folks coming out of here, just from all the way from the wrestling programs in Iowa and Nebraska and all the way into cage fighting.
Dude, I got to tell you, there's some corn-fed people out there. You offensive linemen, defense linemen, you get some big-time tough guys out there, man. I got to tell you, I got a chance to see you in person. Guys, watch this right now for the first time. Welcome to the show. Good morning, everybody. A lot of new people, new faces coming in. Brandon Meyer on here. We got the same name, so that's pretty cool. So I know you got to be cool from the start. And as I was typing your name in here, and guys in the back in production are like, Brandon Meyer. I'm like, I thought I was typing my name. But so, hey, man, welcome to the show. And this is Brandon. If you haven't seen it, this guy's bare knuckle fighter. Howard, pull this picture up behind here. The guy is a warrior. The guy gets out there and gets it done. The guy's a fighter. But listen, Brandon, I'm just telling you, when I saw you come out and fight, you just fought a guy here in Miami. You flew in from Nebraska, right? You fought a guy who was a hometown guy, which we'll get to in a second. They were rooting for him. You put on a show, man. Like literally, it was just, you just showed up and said, look, I put all the training. I'm ready to go.
Yeah, basically. I just knew that I had done everything that I needed to do on my end, and I knew how bad I wanted it, So I knew that if I came in there and brought the fight to him, that he was going to either bring it back or it was just going to be like that.
Hey, look, this one started so much drama, dude. Like, what's going on here? Tell us what's going on right now. He slaps you in the face. What happens?
He was trying to play mental warfare games like the whole time. He was trying to play nicey nice and stuff backstage and do that whole thing. And then right there when we he told us to turn and face the cameras in the front, and he just kept like staring at me. You know what I mean? Like he was gonna try to intimidate me. That's when you seen me put my forehead on him, like
you went right for it though, bro. Like, he tried to get a little smack in there, a little like, and then pop. Like it was a pretty quick reaction. Like, I mean, I don't think he was expecting that.
No, and like a lot of it was crazy because I seen in the comments and stuff like that, people thought that stuff was like staged. Never am I gonna ever let another man smack me, whether it's staged or not. Like, we ain't doing that. So
we're gonna stage smack Brandon in the face. That's not happening.
No, and then I'm not going to smack you back. I'm going to punch you back. It's not.
Right, yeah. Right. So leading up to that, man, all I got to say is let's rewind. So how did you get into fighting? Why is bare knuckle? And every time we talk to guys on here, we got a lot of, NFL guys coming on, NBA guys coming on. It's going to be great this season, preseason football, all that. But bare knuckle, UFC, there's a cool little collaboration going on. I'm going to say too much, but how did you get into fighting where you're fighting bare knuckle? Not you with gloves, not doing the normal thing, like completely bare knuckle.
So, I mean, you'd have to rewind way back to the beginning when I actually started fighting MMA. I got into MMA because I was already known for being kind of like a street fighter, you know what I mean, between my people growing up. And so they kind of just did it like dared me to get into it and fight my first fight, you know. And then after that, I was doing MMA. The promoters wanted me to keep coming back. I went on a run. You know, I was 10-1 lightweight champion for a promotion back then, Torment Cage Combat. And then, unfortunately, in 2008, I was incarcerated. And then I was gone for 10 years in federal prison for marijuana.
This is interesting news that I knew nothing about this.
Yeah.
Nothing about this.
When I tell people that my life is a movie, I'm not saying that because it's like I'm being conceited. I'm saying that because
this is
8
real.
Mile, no disrespect to Eminem, but 8 Mile ain't got shit on my life story, bro.
Wow. So you were incarcerated for how long?
I did 10 years straight on my first stretch. And then
oh my God.
I got out, I went on a win streak, took a belt for another promotion when I came home. I had a Bellator fight scheduled within 9 months of getting out of federal prison. And then my probation officer violated me for some dumb shit that happened one night. And then I was gone for almost another 3 years.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So then
Brandon,
I got out.
Go into that. You okay to explain some of that to us?
People know what's going on. As long as you're okay with that, I'm cool with it.
Yeah. Tell us the story.
I'm not embarrassed about my past,
I gotta tell you, this is interesting. Everyone has an interesting story in fighting. We had a guy on the show, Stuvie. He has a handicapped sister, was picked on his whole life and became fighting. Everyone has their own story. Tell us about your story.
So when I went back on the violation, everything that I had did since I had got out of prison within that 9-month span that I was fighting before I got violated, was like a dream come true. Like everything was falling into place. I couldn't have prepared or planned it any better. But then having that violation and going back for that long, it was so disheartening, man. And then right in the midst of it, like the last year that I was in, COVID hit. So then not only am I incarcerated in there, but we're also locked in our cells. So I can't even like work out like I want to or go run or anything. And
do you want to go into why you were incarcerated in the first place?
Yeah, most definitely. I was incarcerated for marijuana and a gun. They called it so the actual charge is possession of a firearm in furtherance of a drug trafficking crime. I called an ambulance for somebody, and they came with the police came with the ambulance, and then they found a little bit of marijuana. Long story short, they were trying to say that I was using my the gun that I had in a locked case in the back of my closet to protect the little bit of weed that I had.
Wow.
Swear.
Brandon,
it's public record, man. You can look at my case, man. It's no.
Brandon, 10 years for that?
Yes.
In Nebraska?
No, in the federal system.
But where did you get arrested at, though?
I got arrested in Iowa, but
got it. Okay.
I did my first 5 years in California, and then I bounced around the country.
Dude, listen. Everyone makes mistakes. I'm not saying this because you're on the show here. I'm saying we've all done foolish things. And most of us don't know what that means, right? Like 10 years? If you knew it was 10 years for having that, you'd have been like, I'm cool on that. Right?
Exactly. I didn't know anything about the federal system, man.
No idea that's going to happen. I'm not just going to do that. I have no idea. So, listen, I appreciate explaining that. So that happens, whatever. You get out, and then you get a violation, quote unquote, and you're back for 3 more years during COVID.
Yeah, and the violation that I got was
God.
for taking the freaking keys from this chick that I was dating because she was driving. She was trying to drive drunk, and I took the keys from her, and she got crazy. The police got called, and there was like a disorderly conduct charge because it was like a scene. We made a scene or whatever. You know what I mean?
Bro, whatever state that is in, I will never look. I'm not saying I carry this kind of shit on me all day long or whatever. All I'm saying is I'm not going near that state. It sounds like you brush your teeth wrong. like
Well, it's the federal system. They don't matter what state you're in. The jurisdiction is over everything. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So my PO kind of had it out for me. He when I first got out, he looked at me in the first 2 minutes I met him. He said, "Oh, so you're gonna be a fighter now, huh? You went to the feds and you think you're tough now, huh?" So I knew right out the gate that I was gonna have problems with this guy the whole time. And
had
he
it
was
out for you regardless.
on my fight career the whole time too.
Yeah. You know, it's interesting to hear that because a lot of people in your position would have said, I'm done with this shit. But you still, Brandon, still to this day, you still got the American flag on your back.
A lot of people ask me that, man. You know, the reason that I wear the flag every time I come out, it's not because of our government or any people that are in power or anything like that. It's what that represents. It's what that flag represents. It represents freedom. It represents unity. It represents everything that Americans have here and why everybody wants to come here.
Yep.
And even though, people in power and made laws that incarcerated me, I still never gave up on that American dream, that you can still be anything you want to be, and that's what I try to tell my kids and show my kids by example, that no matter what you've done in your past, no matter the obstacles that have been thrown in front of you, you can still succeed despite all of it.
Wow. Listen, I got to tell you, there's so much that I have, like in a conversation with people. I got to tell you, man, this is one of the best stories that we've had so far on the platform, and we're building a new network here, and it's going to grow drastically. I can promise you that, and we love to follow you and all this. We're gonna get to a lot right now, but it's gonna grow very big. But this is an interesting story, not because of the incarceration, because of you becoming successful in growing and fighting in 10 years, whatever it is, and you get out and you're like, I'm doing it. And then 3 years, 3 years, like 3 months would be long after that, right? 3 years, your parents, your family, your kids, they got to be like, what the, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you're put through I hate to say the system, but you're put through the ringer. You're put through a position that you got to be a real warrior. Forget BKFC right now. BKFC, I love it. We'll get to that right now. But your lifestyle, what you went through, is 1,000 times harder than BKFC. So the fact that you're in BKFC now, you're probably going, dude, this is shit for me. This is nothing. Like, you're like,
oh yeah.
And I get a lot more of your background right now.
Yeah, so it's a different mentality. When you got to go, fight in the showers. You know what I mean? Bare knuckle, and you don't know, if somebody's gonna jump in, if somebody's gonna pull a knife. That type of mentality of things that you had to go through for years like that, it prepares you for this, so that when I step in that squared circle,
this is nothing.
Nothing.
You don't give a damn about this, because this to you right now is light work. Truthfully.
Yeah.
Let's talk about your weight class. Who would you want to fight? Just not to cause drama in your life, but who would you want to fight right now? Who's next? Because obviously you fought a guy that HD just fought HDB. Are you guys in the same weight class, you and HD?
We are actually we were supposed to fight that night.
What?
That was the first matchup that I accepted. The fights got jumbled around, and I ended up getting matched up. I had like 3 different matchups that I accepted, and I was just gonna fight regardless of who they put in front of me. Welterweight, lightweight, like they ended up putting me at welterweight, which is not my weight class. I walk around at that, but we did it. We got it done, man.
Dude, you beat a guy. You beat this guy, not to cut you off. You beat this guy, the hometown guy. This guy, OnlyFans, sponsored by OnlyFans, by all this stuff going on, and BKFC is doing some cool stuff. I'm sure OnlyFans or whatever. But this guy here, everyone's like, oh yeah, OnlyFans. He's all over. He's making music. He's becoming a little hometown celebrity. You came in and said, I don't give a shit. Like, this is from Nebraska. I don't care. I'm showing up. I flew in here. Been here only for a couple of days, and I don't give a shit and ready to fight. And I believe we got some people coming in the chat right now. Good morning to people that are talking. If you haven't seen Brandon Meyer, he's telling our story, went through incarceration, went through getting after 10 years, and then goes back for 3 more years. Still a BKFC fighter, still working for his family, still building, doing his thing. Good morning to everybody in here. And there's a lot of new faces in here, I'm sure, too. I see Cupcake. I didn't know that. Tracy, good morning. Good morning, Howard. Good morning to everybody. My eyes are terrible. Brandon, so if you see me squint, don't start laughing on the other side. Good morning, Devon. Good morning, Jacob. Everybody that's new in here. Rambo the Flair, good morning. Rambo Russo is watching. Young Merc, good morning. He said, you came in and took care of business, Young Merc said. He's watching. Good morning to everybody coming in here, man. This guy's great to talk to. Went through a full conversation. So you came in. Run us through what you're seeing right here. And like, what were you guys tired right here? Was he tired? Were you tired? What was going on here?
That was the end of the first round. I wasn't tired yet. I felt how my jab was impacting him. And then when I hit him with that jab, that second jab that I snuck right through his guard there, I think that's a shot that broke his nose.
Oh, you broke his nose there?
I'm pretty sure that shot broke his nose. You look, it's pretty crooked after that. But
it wasn't this shot right here, was it?
No, that was on his chin. That hit his chin.
It wasn't that shot. So tell me this.
He got saved by the bell right there at the end of the first round, man.
You're right. And I was right there by the canvas watching, so you're right. And man, when you came out, I'm like, obviously he stands out. He's got the pink hair. He's got all this going on. And he's been pretty successful. He's not a bad fighter. So you were supposed to fight HD. That got moved around. What is your goal right now in fighting in general? Because the ranks are, you climb the ranks obviously as you win and move around. You flew into Miami, you won that fight. Do you have another fight in mind that you want from BKFC right now? Is there a fighter you said, I got to fight him to climb the ranks? I got to fight somebody particular?
I mean, I don't really have any one person in mind. I'm going to be patient and earn my way. You know what I mean? I don't want to feel like I'm like trying to,
Escalate,
jump people in line. I want to earn my spot. You know what I mean? But definitely whoever they feel is going to put me in a spot to where I can fight for a belt. You know what I mean? That's the end goal. I want to fight for a title, I mean, I think that's everybody's dream as a fighter, but I see it. I could taste it. I would love to fight guys like, Palomino and stuff like that. I feel like I'm going to need one of these big gyms to jump on board with beast mode, man, and get behind me because I'm training myself to this point.
Hey, this does, just coming on the show does a lot. We've had guys on the show. This is a new network and we're building it new. We do a lot of NFL as we bring on BKFC and more fighting. We have UFC fighters coming on. As this expands, this is a great platform to get a lot of opportunities. We've had guys come on here. Even Merck came on here and AC came on here. People are calling right now from different places that are like, yeah, I want to sponsor him. Like, this is starting to happen now. So people will probably see this and be like, hey, let's do something. Do you want to stay in Nebraska? Do you want to stay out there? Your family's there, right? How many kids you got? What do you got?
I got 3 kids. They're older. My oldest son's 21.
Wow.
I got my other son my middle boy he's gonna be 18 here April, and my daughter's 15. So
you're close to being able to say, hey, relocate me almost.
Yeah, I mean, I want to pursue this. I know this is the one. This is the run. This is the run of beast mode. I'm going all in. So I know that I can only train myself to a certain point, man. I need a top level coach, and I'm right here in Omaha with Bud Crawford's gym. I train at Crawford's gym. Yeah. But it's like a pecking order, man, at a professional boxing gym, and they kind of look at former MMA fighters and bare knuckle boxers kind of like outsiders a little bit. You know what I mean?
Yes. Listen, you're right. You're right 100%. Bare knuckle is growing though. And I'm not just talking about social media. I'm talking people are starting to say, bare knuckle might be around longer than I thought. Because when you watch, when you watch fighting in general, like gloves, people fight for a long time. Boxing, UFC, a little shorter career. And then you get to bare knuckle. It's like, how long can you fight if you lose, right? Like, if you get beat, I seen the guy get in there and get his ass beat. I mean, it was like, I wouldn't. If I was him, I don't care how much heart you got. That shit's not working. Like, you're not even fighting a number 1 guy or number 2 guy, and you're getting demolished, right? Like, that's probably a point in your life where you go, okay, I love fighting. I got heart. I'm not scared, right? I'm not scared. I'm in here. It's not working. Time to put a suit on. Like, something else. But people like yourself, people like Merck, people are destroying people, getting up there and they're tough. This is a longer career, especially if you're winning. If you're providing the damage, right? But if you're getting the damage, I just feel like it can be a little shorter career, being that there's no gloves, right? So you got to be all in this shit. All in.
Most definitely.
All
Most
in.
definitely.
And you don't mind relocating.
No, I wouldn't mind relocating.
These guys in Miami, I got to tell you, there's a lot of fighters here that I'm based in Miami. I'm originally from up north, New Jersey, New York. So moving to Miami and being down here, I came here for football years ago. But now that I'm down here, I'm seeing fighters left and right. Guys are just getting started, new fighters. But there's some warriors out here. You already mentioned who you have in mind, a couple little things where you would take some fights. You want them to put you in a position. What do you have to say to people watching you, fans that are watching you?
Thanks for the love, man. Y'all are the reason why I do this, or one of the big reasons why I do this. You guys keep me, you keep that fire in me. You know what I mean? When I hear beast mode in the crowd and people cheering me on, it just fires me up. You guys, I definitely hear that in there.
Hey, you just got a message here from Young Merc. He said, come to my camp. So looking at the message in the chat here, he said, hey, come to my camp. Come train out here. They'll introduce you to even more people, which is this is why it's such a great community of people. Like, connecting
definitely.
people. Do you follow Merc on social media? Marcus Suarez?
I don't. I'm actually just now starting to get into Instagram. You know what I mean? You guys, when I went to prison, Facebook wasn't even around. Or you know what I mean? Or it wasn't like big at all. You know what I mean? And then like I never even touched a smartphone until like 2017.
You came out and the world was a whole nother obstacle.
Completely different place, man. Like crazy. Like everything was smartphones and all that. Yeah.
You got out of jail. And
man,
it's like, what the hell is that device?
Phone was a Razor.
The Razor?
Yeah, you remember the Razor?
Yeah, that's when you got out of jail?
No, that's when I went to prison in 2008.
Got it.
That's what I had.
So tell us real quick. And listen, I'll connect you to Merc. He's in here right now, and I always use him because this is a guy who's building and growing and has a lot of fans here. I mean, at the fight, tons of people came to watch him. And he'll be back on the show a lot. We appreciate him. He said, come to my camp, connect with him. When we get off here, I'm going to give you his Instagram. Bare knuckle, crushing it. Awesome guy, has great sponsors. So I'll connect you with him. That's awesome to see. He's showing the love and support for you. And he's a Miami guy, and you fought a Miami guy, so he's showing you love.
Well, here's the thing. Here's the thing a lot of people don't know about me. I was born in Fort Lauderdale. I was born at Broward General.
Well, damn, why the hell you waiting to tell us that shit? That was like a big part of the show.
I always said that I would go back and then I went back when I was 18 to like 22. I went through Hurricane Ivan and Francis and all that down in back in 2004 and that. But I would love to go back to Miami or Fort Lauderdale area someday.
I appreciate you having you on here. And one thing we'll get to is this. I think one thing I want you to tell people, your fans, but what will you give BKFC? This is a question I like to ask a lot of fighters. What will you give BKFC? And I'm sure some of them will see this. A lot of the guys I've been talking to, guys in operations, me with guys at BKFC, a lot of different parts of BKFC. And we're going to help. We're going to continue to grow, obviously, with the brand and stuff. You come out here. Tell us what you're feeling. What goes through your mind, your ability here. Like, what will you give BKFC if they move you up and say, hey, let's focus on this guy and give this guy what he wants?
They're going to get a dog fight every single time. If the opponent is willing, is skilled enough to be in a dog fight. You know what I mean? I'm looking for finishes. Before this fight, this is the first decision I've ever won. Before this, every single one of my wins was a finish. I had 100% finish rate.
You're not trying to stop. You're trying to finish everybody.
No, I'm trying to finish. I wanted to get him out of there. But at one point, when he got saved by the bell in the first, I rushed him a couple times to go for a finish after that. But there was a point where I had to kind of sit back and kind of settle into the fight a little bit so that I didn't burn myself out.
You got to win the fight first and foremost.
Yes. I wanted to finish, but I also wanted to be able to have the juice to go 5 rounds.
Did you feel this guy was tough? Like, I'm not saying this to say, hey, let's start some shit. Did you feel this guy was like tough, like physically tough? Did you just think, hey, I know I'm going to win this fight, and just started fighting immediately? Were you just like, I got to just get through this fight, or what?
So coming into the fight, his whole image and shit, I was not impressed. You know what I mean? The whole pink hair and all that stuff. But I'll give him props for he took some shots. Like, he was tough. He was tough and he was more durable than I expected. Like I said, I think I broke his nose with one of those that jab that I put him down with in that first.
And he got back up to fight though. He didn't care.
Yeah, no, he was good. He was good. He took some punishment, man. I'll give him that.
Hey, tell us this real quick before you get off here, Brandon. When you were incarcerated, you said there was fights going on through jail, through prison. Tell us about that. Like, you're in prison and fights are, I mean, they got to be random, right? Like, it's not like, hey, tomorrow 2:00, right? Like, it's like random fights are happening in the prison. Tell us some quick stories if you got any. I
mean, there'd be stuff like, we'd be sitting on the bleachers out there watching a softball game. You know what I mean? And you'd look over and there'd be like 40 Sureños jumping on one dude. And then all of a sudden they just disperse and there'd just be a body laying there. You know what I mean?
What?
That's just one example.
And that's kind of what you're seeing, like random.
In California, I've been through riots where they brought the National Guard in, and it's like 500 on 400 or whatever, crazy, like race riots. And in California, and the federal system in general, it's more racially segregated. People don't get that. Everything is racism is not really like prevalent out here. You'll see it a little bit in certain areas, but most people trying to get along out here, and it's kind of like something that ain't really like that big of a thing. But in there, racial segregation is a real thing. And like they would have like signs on the TVs that would say whites TV, blacks TV. Yeah. So the whites had their TVs, the blacks had their TVs, the Mexicans had their TVs.
The racists had their own TVs in the federal prison?
Yeah.
So you said also, like, you could be in the shower, and you're just trying to do your normal day routine, and then you got to worry about people trying to rush you and fight you or stab you or whatever the case may be. So that was always on your mind.
A lot of people would wear their boots to the shower. You know what I mean? So that they wouldn't get caught slipping.
Wow.
Or if they were like a high profile gang member, they would be in the shower and they would have a guard outside the shower, not like a CO guard, but like one of their own people guarding the shower for them.
Yeah. You know what I mean? One of their own people.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh yeah.
That's the kind of lifestyle you were living for a long time.
Yeah, it was a whole different world in there, man. But I met some really, really great people, man, that I still stay in touch with, that are really successful since we got out, that came to the fight in Miami. Shout out to Ronnie. My boy Ronnie came out there, his wife.
Wow.
Melissa. Yeah.
Listen, Brandon, this has been...
My celly from California came down to my fight, man.
Really?
Yes.
And you got the W?
Yes. It was great, man.
Listen, Brandon, thankful for having you on. I appreciate you giving more of your story, not just talking BKFC. A lot of people don't want to tell their stories. A lot of people don't want to talk about their parents. A lot of people don't want to mention that they have 3 kids. A lot of people don't want to say things. I appreciate you telling people because your story will motivate people. And every day, end of my show, I do a motivational quote every single day. And I think today was a lot of people that will go back and watch this. And as the show expands and grows, people will be excited to hear a lot what you said today.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
I look forward to having you back on here again. And I'll be looking forward to your next fight. And remember to connect with people on here like Merck and these other guys. Connect with them. They're showing all love and support. We look forward to seeing you, bro.
Yeah, definitely shoot me his info so I can get a hold of him. I'd like to do a little camp down there. That'd be cool.
1,000%. I'm sure they'll do it. We'll get together again. Brandon, thanks for having you on. I look forward to seeing you really soon, man. God bless. I look forward to seeing you.
Thank you so much, man. I appreciate it.
Take care, buddy. Very, very interesting. Obviously, with Brandon Meyer, a story, interesting story to see. A blessing that what he went through to fight through the adversity. A lot of people can't even fight through getting their groceries. I mean, literally 10 years incarcerated, get out. Thank God I'm free. 3 years incarcerated again. And you're like, okay, now he's in bare knuckle fighting. Now he's winning fights. He's growing again. It's like living a whole nother life, after again. And listen, it's very interesting, but God bless him. Look forward to watching him fight. Well, on to the next conversation. We got Odell Beckham now is visiting the Miami Dolphins. We just talked about Odell Beckham Jr. was visiting, talking to the Kansas City Chiefs, and then he was talking to some other teams, and it's like, look, can you imagine Odell in Miami? Now he's back in the spotlight, right? Like he was in New York. He went to L.A., played with the Rams, and now Miami seems interesting, and obviously Kansas City would be a great landing spot for him too, but I'm just saying, Odell Beckham Jr., playing in Miami, he's going to have, obviously, receivers with him like Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill. I mean, can you imagine the combination of these two where you can install Odell Beckham Jr. to be a number 3 receiver, like not number 1, not number 2, because I don't think that's where he's at anymore, but number 3, he will be a real threat. He'll be a super threat at number 3. That would open these guys up crazy, little screens, all kinds of different routes. You got Tyreek Hill turns a 5-yard pass into 50, 60, 70 yards. Jalen Waddle's phenomenal. Adding Tyreek Hill to the mix would be incredible for the Dolphins if they can handle the payload, obviously the salary cap issues and concerns. But it'll be very interesting to see Odell Beckham Jr. in Miami run around with the stars as they continue to flock to Miami. It's been interesting years and years and years. It's been now. Miami has been growing and growing and growing. I think it'll be an exceptional opportunity. If they bring him in as a number 3 receiver, the Miami Dolphins would be one of those teams to worry about heading into the 2024 NFL season. So move on to another conversation. Listen, we've had some actually interesting conversation about Jalen Hurts. Obviously, the Tush Push. People know all about Jalen Hurts, the guy who I thought needed a little bit more motivation, right? I'm not going to lie. But the Tush Push is in full effect. They said it's good for this year. This play could not be stopped, like literally all year. Maybe toward the end of the season, people started trying to figure out what they can do. But this little play where Jalen Hurts lines up behind center, grabs the ball and pushes, and Jason Kelce obviously was one of the leading factors of that, who's no longer there. They were getting first down at the first down. It was like you didn't even have to worry about getting the 4th down and 1 or 4th down and 2, or especially 4th down and inches. It was like it was not a problem, and other teams could not do it. Jalen Hurts, the Philadelphia Eagles, they mastered this play to the point where people were like, hey, this is kind of illegal. We shouldn't run this play anymore. We need to get rid of it. It's back. It's in full effect. Jalen Hurts, the Eagles, they'll be running that play this year, I'm sure, and it's going to be exciting to watch. But listen to this. There's also some breaking news with Jalen Hurts, which I have right here. Jalen Hurts pays for an 18-year-old's funeral. Okay, I want you guys to understand what just happened. Yeah, a guy he got shot, actually, an athlete, and Jalen Hurts stepped in and said, you know what? I'm going to pay for the funeral. He stepped in. It was in Texas. Obviously, Jalen Hurts from Texas stepped in, forked the bill, said, listen, I'm going to take care of this. I'm going to step in and make the pay to help out for the funeral, for his community, for the sake of, their family and all that. It's great to see, great to watch a competitor in Jalen Hurts to go back and give back to someone who probably needed it. The family probably needed it, but also prayers to that family and watching what Jalen Hurts continues to do outside of the football field. That's always a blessing to see. I'm not saying every single athlete that makes money should just be giving back all their money, but to watch this guy step up and do that, I think it's phenomenal. I think it's an awesome opportunity to go back and go, look, this was much needed. He helped out. I thought it was great. But yeah, Jalen Hurts, the Philadelphia Eagles, big things are happening this season. They got Saquon Barkley, Jason Kelce. I told you, a little struggles here. Like, man, you got Saquon Barkley now. I'm going to come back and play. Who knows if he'll come back and play? But the Eagles are in full effect. The Tush Push is back in full effect. The Eagles will be good this season, and we'll look forward to seeing that. But check this out. Boxer arrested after a high-speed chase. So I got this boxer here, and he's one of the considered, he's only 24 years old, considered one of, I guess you want to say the top in the world, Jared Anderson on police chase. I just went through and read this whole story. 24 years old, is widely considered America's top heavyweight champion, hopeful. And it says the boxer from Toledo, Ohio, number 8 heavyweight, is coming off one of his best years yet, 16-0. 15 knockouts. Okay? We're talking, yeah, he's undefeated, right? But he's got 15 knockouts, and here is the story. Jared Anderson on a high-speed police chase. And can you imagine, right? Like, you pull the guy over and this guy gets out? Like, this massive heavyweight boxer. Like, I'm sure they had this guy surrounded, right? But it says here, he was arrested, and it says improperly handling firearms in a vehicle, another whole situation, operating a vehicle under the influence of alcohol or drugs. But listen, this guy here, 24 years old, he said, look, I'm human. I'm 24. Everybody makes mistakes. It's not going to be the last mistake. I hope it's my last mistake that involves me being arrested. I feel like a lot of people have painted pictures of me to be something I'm really not. I wouldn't say I would regret it. He said, I wouldn't say I regret it, lesson learned. I try to live my life with no regrets. Nothing we can really do about it at the moment other than face it head on and take it on the chin. And as you know, the guy's a warrior. The guy's a beast. The guy, it's hard to, I guess if you want to say hard to watch or hard to swallow, because he has the world right now, right in front of him, do so many great things, and obviously arrested. I'm sure he'll bounce back. I don't think that's going to be a massive concern, but check this out. Check this out moving forward. LeBron James, okay, he said, look, maybe I'm the chosen one. And people got all upset, up in arms. Oh my God, why would LeBron say that? He shouldn't say that because he's gifted. Maybe I'm the chosen one. Listen, Joy Taylor said it best, and I'll break this down for you. At the end of the day, some people really are the chosen ones. And she said it exactly right. There's comes a point in time, yeah, you're a professional, you should be humble. But then some people, you don't gotta be that humble. You literally can be, hey, I'm a good guy, I provide to my community, I help out, I donate. There's nothing wrong with being like, look, God really chose me. Okay, you're 6'8", first of all. You're 6'8". You're an amazing basketball player. You're dunking on people all through high school. You're one of the best of all time. You couldn't be stopped as a kid. You couldn't be stopped in high school. You couldn't be stopped in the NBA. You're unbelievable. Everybody thinks, you're either number 1 or number 2 of all time with Michael Jordan for the most part, right? You're the number 1 or number 2. And people are saying, oh my God, that's not right. He shouldn't say, maybe I was chosen. Yeah, I get it. You want someone to be humble. You want someone to be nice. You want someone to say, hey, I already know I'm 39 years old and I'm successful, so I'm going to be a little humble and sit back and just that. At the end of the day, sometimes people are just the chosen ones. So we have to call a spade. You're LeBron was chosen for something, because I don't know many 6'8" friends dunking from the foul line in high school that are flying around, like animals on the court. I'm just saying, I have friends that are good. I have friends that are gifted. And then you have people like LeBron James. There comes a certain point where you go, yeah, he was the chosen one. It isn't like God provided 10 LeBron James on the basketball court to run around and play like he did. So I'm just saying, in general, I wouldn't get upset about that. The guy's a great guy. For all these years, who has handled the media like LeBron James? He's not in trouble. He doesn't do anything wrong. He has his own life. It's publicized. He doesn't really have any privacy, I guess, if you want to say. And he gets on the screen and he goes, maybe I was a chosen one. I think people should sit back and go, well, shit, I kind of agree with you. Why should we get mad because he wasn't so humble in that conversation when we all know if you're not over 6 foot, right, as a guy, then you're kind of like, yeah. And if you're not over 6'2", I'm 6'3", I'm tall. LeBron's 6'8". He was chosen for something, and it was clearly basketball, and he's dominating in every facet of the game and probably one of the best in most people's eyes of all time, number one or number two. Move on to the quote of the day to end the show. I appreciate all of you that are still here rocking with me, guys. I got a quote for you guys, so watch this to finish off the show. Remember to hit the like button and subscribe here if you haven't. Life begins at the end of your comfort zone. Okay? Life begins at the end of your comfort zone. So if you're walking around just comfortable, well, let's just say this. If you're loaded and you're financially set and life is amazing, good for you. But if you want to get to the point where you can be comfortable and enjoy life, guess what? Life starts or begins at the end of your comfort zone, right? Right when you start to go, okay, I'm uncomfortable at this point. Like life is getting a little hard right now. That's where life gets started because now you build your character. You build your energy. You build your emotion. You sit back and go, look, I'm ready to be a tiger here. I'm ready to be a warrior. I'm going to get through this. I'm not saying every single day we got to be running around like alpha males. All I'm saying is, look, as soon as you get a little uncomfortable, you start looking around and say, okay, this is what life's about. Like, this is where I fight adversity. This is where I got to become who I'm going to be. Me, this is where I become a man. If it's you and you're a woman, this is where I become a woman. I step up to the plate. I get it done. I become successful because I won't quit. And that's the quote of the day. Life begins at the end of your comfort zone, guys. I thank all of you for tuning in today. Everyone that's in here in the live, thank you for rocking with me today. All the people that were in and out, thank you as we expand our network. Looking forward to it. It's Friday. Enjoy your weekend. I will see you guys here bright and early on Monday, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Until next time.